Hi, this is Anna Hackman from Green Talk, and today we have Dave Lorenz. I said that wrong, Dave. Wait, Dave Lorenz? Dave,
Yep,
help me here.
Lorenz.
Dave Lorenz, with One Block Off the Grid, and this is going to be such an exciting interview. I have written about One Block Off the Grid before, especially when they came to New Jersey, and they offered this amazing discount for, like, if you can think of like a co-op for solar panels, this is the company that does it. So, Dave, a lot of people don't know what One Block Off the Grid is. They may think it's like new kid on the block. So tell us a little bit about One Block Off the Grid. What do you guys do?
Sure. So we've been around about 2.5 years, and what we do is group deals on solar. So, the average homeowner doesn't know what they're supposed to pay for solar. They don't know how it works or who to get it from, and it's all over the map as far as what it costs. And you don't get to see any numbers until somebody's in your living room, sort of selling it to you. And so, a lot of people aren't comfortable with that, and they're not ready to make a purchasing decision without knowing more first, right? And so what we do is we lump together hundreds of people in an area and then negotiate a deal for them from a local contractor, and then it's a fixed and transparent deal. So everybody, all these hundreds of people are getting the same discounted price, which makes it way more comfortable to, if hundreds of other people are getting the same deal, you have to worry less about, am I getting a good deal? Am I negotiating properly? Because there's no way to know how to negotiate. It's not like buying a car where you could go to Auto Trader, and figure out what you're
Right.
supposed to
See,
pay.
what I think what's the beauty of your program is it's like a co-op. So the more people that you get, like you get a great price. And when they came to New Jersey, I had been pricing solar panels for years, and they always tend to be like $8 a watt. And when you guys came in, if I remember correctly, and you correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was like 5.4, something like that, a watt.
We, we've had a couple different prices in New Jersey, a couple different programs. Yeah, we had 540, we had a flat five, some other prices, but it's gotten cheaper. Solar's gotten cheaper over the last couple of years. You certainly still see people buying it for $8 a watt, $10 a watt. Uh, but it shouldn't be that way. But our price right now is actually it's 475 a watt,
Oh,
and it
God.
includes
That's great.
yeah, it's that's a solid deal, especially considering it's including in-phase microinverters, which are uh, that's just a 475 including these microinverters. It's a really solid deal on solar.
Now, you also have two different panels, if I remember correctly. You have one that's more kind of an average, and then there's like an upgrade panel. Are you still doing that?
We're trying to keep it pretty simple for people. So, in other words, in our mind, what you should be paying for is energy. How much energy is it going to produce, and that's what you want to get a deal on, right? And so, we want to make sure they're products that we stand behind and that are good. But right now, it's just it's one product. So it's basically Canadian solar panels and in phase microinverters in New Jersey.
And I'm going to flip to your website, so hold on one second. I've never done this on Skype, so everybody hold on. Okay, so wait, let me just get it over one second because it's not. I'm on one blog off the grid right now, your website, and walk me through how easy it is to sign up for someone to come talk to you about, or someone to come talk to them about adding solar to their home.
Right. So that's what's exciting about New Jersey is one of the areas where we can design and lease a solar system for you without being in your living room.
Wait, let's backtrack because we haven't got to that yet, Dave. Dave,
Yeah.
what I'm talking about here is, like for instance, on your website right now, you have solar cities, and I'm going to flip to it
Yeah.
right now.
So if you want to see sort of what the deal is in your area, it's simple. It's super simple. You just go to onebog.org or you just Google one block off the grid, and then at the homepage it's clear. It says just sign up. You can sign up right there, and you just give us some information about your house. And if you are inside one of the group deal areas, we'll call you up and explain everything. Or you can take an estimate and sort of see what solar means to you. But that's how you get started.
But
It's just
but
simple.
don't you still have on your website now? Because I did this over a year and a half ago. Don't you also have on your website where you can kind of already look and say, okay, put in your zip code and look, and they can kind of Google map it and look and say, oh, you're not good for solar, or yes, you can get X amount of solar. Do you still have that
Yeah.
with your website? Where is that on the website so I can go to it? Do you know by chance?
The best way to do that is, well, you can in the footer you can see something that says solar estimate. If you just want to go directly there, you can click through to that. Now, the way most people would do it is they come to our homepage, sign up, and then right after that, it shows them sort of what is important to them in their area. And part of that is, hey, look, if you're not ready to talk to a human yet, go ahead and click here, and you can take this estimate, sort of draw your roof, and tell it your power bills, and it'll spit out what solar will cost, and how fast it'll pay for itself, and the environmental benefits right there on the spot. And then if that looks cool, that's when you can talk to somebody here, and they'll design you a solar system tailor made to your house.
I have right up on the video right now the solar slash estimate, that that part you told me that was in your website. So it's
Yep.
on the website. You put in your address. I've done this myself. They find your roof and they say you're good to go. You can do X. It was so amazingly cool. It wasn't like someone had to call me on the phone, go look at Google Maps and say, well, yeah, that looks good. I knew right away, and I thought that was a very cool thing that you did. Now I'm going to flip back to the solar cities on your website, and I wanted to show everybody who's watching the video, and I will, because it's also a podcast. You have Atlanta, Denver, Maryland, North New Jersey, Pittsburgh, San Francisco, San Diego, Philadelphia. There's quite a few cities here that are doing these group discounts. And you also have something on your website. This is if you'd like it to come to your area, you can sign up or invite your friends. So you can kind of create your own group. Is that right, Dave?
Yeah, if we get enough people in a certain area, we'll come there, and we're certainly working on something that's pretty big for everyone. But the things you're looking at right there are places where there's group deals. The three places where we can like design a solar system for you remotely, and you can actually, if you want, you can lease it right then and there. Are Massachusetts, New Jersey, and then Los Angeles.
Let's talk about that. What does, people think, okay, I can buy it outright. I got my rebates, I can do X, Y, and Z, but I still got to put up a chunk of change to buy it. And then there's solar leasing, and solar leasing is not a new concept. A lot of other people are doing solar leasing. What's the difference between one block off the grid and all those other solar leasing guys out there?
That's a good question. So, what One Block Off the Grid wants to do is get solar to mass adoption, right? So we want to stick to what we think we can be the best in the world at, and that's educating people about solar, getting them excited about the possibility. So, for developing a financial product, that's not us. That's not who we are. And so we partnered with the basically the biggest solar financing thing there is out there, which is Sun Edison. And so they have been for years doing these big leases and PPAs for big commercial projects, giant megawatt, multi-megawatt, gigawatt size projects. And now they're starting to do residential solar financing too. And they just got into that, and we partnered up with them really quickly. And so we are offering their leasing product. And you used to only be able to get a lease from a very small handful of places. Now there's many more of them. But the good thing about this one is it's competitive like all the others, but the company that's offering it is this huge public company, right? They're owned by MEMC. They're just very, very large and very stable and not going anywhere. And then on top of that, it's got the best performance guarantee of all the leases. So, something breaks, you get paid the most of what it would have produced.
Now, do you get a better price because you're getting, like for instance, I just talked on the website with a PPA for a commercial, and she was quoting me that in a commercial case, I think she was giving was it 9 cents or 8 cents? I forget. It was or low nines, high eights for a commercial job. Because you have so much more people, can you give a better price for what they're going to be paying for electricity?
So the when you're leasing solar power, what you're looking at is a monthly payment, right? It could escalate or de-escalate or stay flat, and it's for a certain term, but it's basically a monthly payment. But the way you get to that is plugging in a system cost. How much does the system cost? We plug the same system cost into that we plug in if you were to buy it in cash. So the same, $475 a watt with in-phase microinverters, like I was talking about, which is a killer deal.
Right.
We take that same price and put it into the lease. So it won't make as much sense or be as obvious what the discount is since you're looking at a monthly payment, but it's the same price used for both the lease.
Oh,
and
so I
cash.
see. This is different than a PPA then, right?
Yeah, it's a lease. You're leasing equipment,
Okay,
basically on
okay,
your home.
I got a little confused there. Now, does that what's the term of the lease? Is it the life of the solar panels, or is it like a quicker lease term? How does that all work?
This one right now is 20 years, so it's a 20-year lease.
So at the end of 20 years, those solar panels probably are going to be pretty obsolete because there's going to be a lot more, newer and better solar panels. So what
Well,
happens at that time point? Do you give it
I think a
back?
lot of people think that that's what happens. That it's like laptops that they get obsolete really quickly, and they don't. I mean, the same stuff that's going up on roofs today is the same stuff that was going up on roofs in the 70s. It's just like almost twice as efficient. Laptops, they get twice as efficient every year. We're talking about 40 years. So they'll still be producing electricity, and you can capitalize on all the rebates and incentives that exist today. If you did it 10 years from now, those same rebates incentives, won't exist because they don't have to. And you will have saved, 10 years of electricity. My point is that, yeah, it'll still work in 20 years. There may be new technology, and you'll have options to, upgrade at that time. Most of these companies have the same sort of options when the lease ends.
So walk me through a lease. I want to put up a 4K. Let's use New Jersey because that's one of your areas. I want to put up a 4K. What am I looking at for a lease payment? And back that up with how much I'm actually going to be producing as well.
Right. So I don't want to quote any numbers because I don't know them off the top of my head. I can say a couple things, which is, um, if you're putting a 4 kilowatt system on your roof, you're in New Jersey and you don't have any shading, everybody's going to save money immediately. So it's not quite like California where only the people with high power bills show immediate savings because the more power you use, the more it costs.
Right.
Jersey power is flatter, and the economics are really, really strong because the SRECs are really, you can monetize those for a lot of money, and power is already pretty expensive, which is what solar is competing with. And so people in New Jersey, if they don't have any shade, and there's a lot of trees in New Jersey, but if you, let's say you didn't and you had a good roof for solar, it was south facing, um, or southwest, southeast, and tilted towards the sun, everybody's going to save money instantly. Sort of zero down, instant savings, which is really cool. It doesn't matter what size or who you are or what you're spending on electricity if you've got the right setup.
But who gets all the SRECs? Meaning that, Dave, explain what an SREC is because a lot of people don't know what that is either.
There's a great video on our site that explains what an SREC is. It's essentially a credit that says, hey, look, the energy I made on my house is actually renewable. Um, and it's kind of like a certificate that says, hey, look at this, it's renewable energy, and the utilities need to make a certain amount of their energy from renewable sources, and if they don't, they get penalized, and they can avoid those penalties by buying these credits from you. So it creates a market where not only do you save money on electricity, but the energy your solar system makes, or these credits, are monetizable as well. You can sell them to more or less the utility.
Now, do you guys take care of that as well?
Yeah, we partner. It's kind of like I was talking about why we partnered with Sun Edison instead of developing our own financing product, because we think they're the best at solar financing, and we're not. Same thing for SRECs. If you want to sell your SRECs, we partner up with SREC Trade. We think they're the best at doing SREC.
Now, SRECs are only in New Jersey. Are they also in the other states that you're doing the leasing in?
There's a couple places, so they're not everywhere. They're not in California, and we have a lease, and there. And we'll be launching in some new areas here that don't have SRECs, but they have SRECs. You just can't sell them. So
Right now,
you can sell them in a handful of states.
now with rebates and all. Okay, explain because I'm a little confused with leasing. There's rebates that you can get from the state. There's federal credits, deductions that you can get. There's SRECs as in New Jersey. Who gets that benefit? The person leasing or the person who's leasing it to you?
Right. So it's kind of like the company that's leasing the solar system on your house can capture more of these benefits than a person can. For example, both of you, if you bought it, you'd get a 30% tax credit.
Right.
If the company that buys it and then leases it to you, they'll also get a 30% tax credit. But they're always going to have tax hunger, and you may not. You may not be able to capitalize on it, right? And then on top of that, they get to depreciate the equipment, which gives them this extra tax savings that a homeowner can't get.
Right.
So they take those two, sort of the federal tax credits guaranteed. They can depreciate the cost of the equipment, and then they can pass those savings on to the homeowner, where the homeowner may not be able to get them otherwise.
So you're basically, it's kind of like you're just paying a lease for it, and then you're getting the benefit of the electricity that you're not using. Is that kind of how it's working?
Exactly. Yeah, you're paying. You're not necessarily paying them directly for the energy it's making, but you're paying a lease payment, which is less than the amount of energy you're saving.
Now,
So,
the inverters have sometimes a life of about 7 to 10 years. What happens in this case? Does the lease company require to replace it, or do you have to pay for it?
yeah, that's what I was talking about with the killer performance guarantee. If you're leasing the system, 100%, maintained, monitored, warranted, insured. Like anything goes wrong, they fix it. So inverters go out, replaced. Panel goes out, replaced. Right? It's like leasing a car. If it broke, just broke down on the highway, they're gonna have to fix it.
Now, I understand from your press release, although you're in 3 states now, you're hoping to be up to 8 by the end of the year.
That's right.
So tell me the other states you're hoping to get to, or is that not disclosable?
So yeah, we're already running deals in lots of states, right? But as far as this new concept of being able to design a system for your house and then do it remotely, so that you can see what solar means to your house without having anybody in your living room. We can do that in 3 places now. We want to be up to 8 by the end of the year. Some of those are kind of obvious. It's where everybody else is too. So, places that have high electricity or strong rebates, places like Hawaii, places like New York, a lot of places on the East Coast, other parts of California.
So, and what about the rest of this? You have quite a bit of cities right now listed with that you're actually doing the solar bulk purchasing. Do you think that you'll also be in those those cities as well? In a year or two, with the leasing?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. People are pretty jazzed about the idea of having somebody show them sort of exactly what solar will mean to them on their house without, have crystal clear numbers and sort of transparent pricing before, sort of salesperson's over in their living room, right? You still get somebody coming over to make sure that everything fits and works, and you're walking around on your roof, but you only get that after you're pretty serious about it. So people like that concept, and yeah, we want to bring it everywhere we can.
So I'm a little confused. The solar leasing that you spoke about in the press release that I got, it's in 3 states now. You're going to be up to 8, hopefully by the end of the year. What about the other areas, like let's say Atlanta or the other areas that you mentioned? There's quite a few. Wow, you had a lot of cities. Can you do solar leasing in those as well?
We can do it anywhere. It's some places that'll be tough to make the it financially attractive to people when power costs are really low and the rebates aren't what they need to be, right? So there's some places where solar just isn't that great a deal, whether you're buying it or leasing it, and that's something we would like to see change, obviously, but it's just a function of basically state policy and energy prices.
So when I go on your website and I put in my zip code and I happen to notice that I'm one of those cities, will it tell me on the website, yes,
Yeah.
how about you can lease or you can buy? Will it tell me that so I know that I have an option for
Yes.
both?
Yeah, it'll say, hey, look, we have a deal running, or we don't. If we do, you can use the estimate tool and sort of play with the numbers yourself. If you can lease or buy it, or if there's an active group deal, you can always talk to one of us and we'll explain everything. And then if you can lease or buy it online, of course, we'll let you know that too. So you see everything the second you sign up.
Now, I also see you have PACE financing, and a lot of people do not know what that is. I know in New Jersey we don't have PACE financing. So can you tell a little bit about that with solar?
PACE financing is kind of in a rough spot right now. We just have a page on the website explaining what it is.
So it's
We just have a
so it's not really
page.
available at this point?
No, not really anywhere. It's they're working on it. Basically, I got Freddie Mae or Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac kind of stepped on it, and that needs to get resolved before it can really be used. Yeah, it's kind of in a holding pattern.
So basically, PACE, for clarification, PACE financing is?
Oh, it's a thing where you could finance it and then put it on your property tax bill and sort of pay it back that way. And homeowners thought it was really cool. It was really great. Everybody liked the idea. It was pretty elegant. Didn't require a credit check, but yeah, kind of got, uh, you know, um,
I think it got squashed because taxes always come in first position over the banks. And
yeah.
the
I mean,
banks didn't like that. They're like, "What? What do you mean I'm behind the solar system?"
there you go.
And I
That's
also see PPAs here too. Is that for commercial only, or is that what is that? What's that about on your
uh,
site?
it depends on the area. So many of these companies, almost all of them, can flip back and forth between a PPA and a lease. Usually, it's a function of local policy. If it's, there's laws against selling electricity and looking like a utility. You may have a lease, right? There may be places where you can't lease a solar system, but you can do a PPA. So it's they're not that much different, other than in that conceptually you're paying for one, you're paying for electricity, and the other you're paying a leased amount for a product. But if the lease has a performance guarantee, in some ways they're very similar.
And you also have home equity on here too. What is that about?
Oh, that's just a lot of people buy solar that way, right? Get a home equity loan.
Okay, okay. So what's the future? I mean, I can't keep up with you guys. Seriously. I mean, I keep getting press releases, and I'm like, "Ugh, okay, do you guys burn the night candles? I mean, till like 1 o'clock at night, thinking of new ways for people to buy solar. What's the future going to look like in 6 months for you guys? A year from now?
Well, we'll be, have a lot of people here that can design solar systems for people and talk to them about it. That's what's growing right now. Lots and lots and lots of new faces doing that. So um, that's what we're doing. We're growing that, and
Oh,
yeah,
only
and
the only United States? Have you thought of going over to Europe, or what's is there any plans for that?
we're sticking to the United States for now. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
And
But
how long have you guys been around?
oh, 2.5 years.
And in 2.5 years, how many solar systems have you guys put up? Do you know that number, or at least an estimate?
It depends on how you count them. 1,400 if you look at how many our contractor partners have installed. Way more than that if you look at the people that we have sort of sent over to um, other companies when we couldn't help them because we didn't have a deal running locally. So
What?
1,400 would be the hard number, and many more than that would be a soft number.
What's your wish list?
How many people would we like to put solar on? Everybody.
Everybody. And how did you get into this? I mean, it's kind of a very cool concept of kind of like making deals in an area, kind of like a Sam's Club for solar. How did you get into this?
I was selling it, so I would go out to people's homes, and it was at a time when in San Francisco when it was a great deal. They had a rebate that was basically too high, and you'd sort of be crazy not to do it, and couldn't get everybody to do it. People just didn't trust the contractors, and they didn't know what they were supposed to be paying, and it was a really complicated purchasing decision to make, and so we sort of thought the solution to that was if you have everybody getting the same deal and it's transparent, you can sort of see it and see that everybody else is getting it. And somebody has checked out the installation company. Experts have looked at the company and said, yeah, this is a good company to work with. Then it becomes safer and less worrisome about protecting yourself and more focused on the value proposition of solar should you do it. And that was the idea.
Right, because you're pretty much vetting out those companies for us. So I know that I'm safe with the company that you've chosen.
Yeah, somebody has already negotiated the price and already checked out the contractor, so you're left with, do you want to do it or not?
Yeah, I actually had someone out to my own house, but we ended up deciding to sell the house. We're trying to sell the house and downsize. But I have to say, they were wonderful. I mean, I was like ready to press the button. The price was so good because I've been waiting for solar for a long time. So I strongly urge people to come and sign up on your site, take a look. Leasing is just a no-brainer. I mean, in my opinion. So everybody, I'm going to put the site back up again. Hold on 1 second. I flip back and forth between this and move everything over. Just give me a second. One block off the grid. Hold on. Let's go to homepage. there it is. See how simple this site looks, and it's so simple. And everybody, Dave at your company was wonderful to talk to. I mean, they walked me through it. They stayed on the phone with me. They answered all my questions, and it was just such a delightful experience. I wish that I had was able to put solar on my house with you guys.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
So everybody, go over to 1bog.org. It's flashing on the screen right now. Dave, it's been a pleasure talking to you this afternoon, and I hope everybody realizes now that solar is definitely an option with leasing. So there's no money down, right, Dave?
No money down. Yeah, you can save money from the first day.
Okay, give me the three states again that you're in for solar leasing.
New Jersey, Massachusetts, and then Los Angeles greater metro area.
Do you think you'll be going to San Francisco soon?
Yeah, actually, real soon.
That's great. So everybody, can they sign up for your emails on your website so they can find out when it's coming to their town?
Anybody can sign up anywhere, and it will always tell you when something starts.
It's so funny. I actually signed up on your website probably 2 years ago, thinking it was never coming to New Jersey. And when they sent me an email and they called me, oh my God, I was screaming so loud at the guy. He thought I was like nuts. Like, you're serious? You're coming to New Jersey? How much a watt? So this is really exciting, and I am so glad that you decided to do this program, because I think that you're gonna make your goal. I think solar is going to become just as common as water faucets outside. I mean, it's going to be very common. And thank you so much for your time today. And I'm looking forward to getting more press releases from you guys. Like I said, I can't keep up with you guys. You guys are driving me crazy how you keep changing everything. So, Dave, it was a pleasure.
Hey, thanks, Anna. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me on. You take care.